These days, it is impossible to discuss football without addressing the issue of big hits. One of the greatest draws of the sport for some spectators and one of the biggest risks to its popularity are the massive, dramatic collisions between players moving at high speed. Many supporters are rethinking their allegiances because of the toll that these severe hits have on the players' long-term health. There is a significant amount of physics involved in understanding what is happening in these plays. The majority of this is straightforward momentum and energy physics, but the key problems are commonly misinterpreted. And it turns out that thinking about how to comprehend what is happening effectively leads to thinking about Einstein's general theory of relativity. In the third quarter of the game at M&T Bank Stadium on September 27, 2015 in Baltimore, Maryland, wide receiver Steve Smith, number 89 of the Baltimore Ravens, is tackled by strong safety Sean Williams, number 36 of the Cincinnati Bengals, while quarterback Adam Jones, number 24 of the Cincinnati Bengals, defends. The standard illustration of a bad hit for the NFL is when a wide receiver making a catch collides with a defender in midair. These frequently result in poor outcomes for the receiver, especially if they are too preoccupied with making the grab to prepare for the impact. Although it's not uncommon for a huge collision to send both players to the locker room with concussions, the defenders typically fare a little better in these. When we ask introductory physics students to explain what is happening, they frequently make the error of believing that the problem is one of force because defensive players tend to run a little larger than receivers. The smaller receiver is subjected to higher force from the larger defender, increasing the likelihood of injury. This wide range of the forces of the hits that defensive tackles take is likely due to their high amount of physical contact with several opposing players during each play, the researchers wrote in their findings. Defensive ends engaged in more severe impacts than any other defensive position, but the difference was not significant, according to the study. Defensive backs and linebackers were subject to the most very light impacts, 5 to 6 Gs. The study categorized the hits from very light to severe, but these labels don't signal potential for injury, Lou said. At this time, there are no conclusions that have been drawn about any long-term health risks that may result from repeated exposures to such accelerations, he said. He noted, however, that the authors cited a 2012 study, co-authored by one of the same authors who did the new research, which found that impacts exceeding 7 Gs were associated with decreases in neuromuscular performance after rugby competitions. The ability to measure these impacts that players sustain can help determine when athletes should take a break. Eric Schwartz, professor of kinesiology at the University of New Hampshire, told Live Science. Schwartz, who studies head injuries in football, said that these impacts recorded in the new study were much lower than what researchers have seen in head impacts. NFL research from 2003 showed that concussions occurred from impacts with an average linear acceleration of around 100 Gs. These impacts are so much greater because they involve a smaller mass, the head, rotating around a fulcrum, the neck, as opposed to the more massive bodily hits this new research recorded, Schwartz said. Both Lou and Schwartz agreed that the data from the new study are high quality and unique, and could lay a foundation for future research. It would be difficult, however, to associate specific injuries with these general body impacts. You can't even start to try and conclude a cause and effect that just because there's a 10G collision, that's what led to an ankle rupture, Schwartz said. There's so much more involved in it than that. In the paper, the authors suggested that position-specific data could lead to better monitoring and training for the different forces each player might experience. However, there needs to be more data collected and more players involved, they said.
pass right there.
Washington in the backfield, 1st and 10. Unable to hold on, incomplete. And there is a defenseless receiver.
Four-man rush. Stafford over the middle. He's got his man wide open, and another leap. And the ball comes out, but they say Hawkinson is down as now he's hurt. Straight drop from McCoy. Flushed out of the pocket. And now he throws at the last second and concluded it as he got planted. And I mean planted.
Here's Emmitt Smith again. And Emmitt lashes into the secondary. The ball's loose, and Emmitt grabs his head. To Lance Sawyer.
Rodgers is,
Up the middle screen to Adams. He got popped in the face.
Oh my
Mouth guard comes out, and they're asking for help right away.
Miami, 3rd down and 4 for Aaron Rodgers, and he delivers inside Devontae Adams. With a block right there by St. Brown.
3rd down and 6. Cobb in trouble, gets ready. Oh, big hit on Deshaun Jackson. And there is a penalty marker.
here. Play action to open up the second half. Rodgers over the middle and broken up at the end there. And that was a big hit that Allison took.
And he throws end zone, turning it. Touchdown.
Green Bay. Rodgers finds one of them. That's Jamal Williams, and he's wrapped up immediately as Bradham is out there and a flag is down.
Game with a rookie quarterback, you got to get creative on offense. Josh Cribbs in the Wildcat, and you see at the end, helmet-to-helmet contact.
Down the near sideline, leaping attempt by Torrey Smith, and he couldn't hold on.
Here for the Steelers. Rush coming, Rudolph tries to tuck and run, gets out of the first wave, throws on the move, it's complete as he hits James Washington. Mason Rudolph keeps it alive, but Rudolph is down.
Receivers, 30 seconds to go. Warner looking deep middle for Bolden, who makes an incredible catch, and then the ball comes out, it's incomplete.
They give it to Tolbert. And like a bowling ball, he's just bouncing off 49ers up to the 32-yard line. And here is an injured 49er down on the play.
Allen steps. Allen trying to run. Oh, he got clobbered.
They call it a helmet-to-helmet hit on Jonathan Jones. Rudolph airs it out downfield, and the pass is broken up, and a flag for the hit. Goff down the sideline, pass is caught, and now out at the end of it, but they are going to rule a completion to 15. Goff with time, throws it, he's got a man. Oh, big hit by Brandon Cooks, and he is down.
2nd down now for Kansas City. Castle checks it down to Charles. Jamal Charles.
Short drop for Flacco on the slant. That is complete across the 40, and it's taken away by a Viking.
There's a handoff to Ridley. He's hit in the head. He's laying out. The ball is out. He was wrong.
Here is Elliott, and with that surge, able to pick up the first down. Torrey Smith on the stop, and Elliott.
Wide open underneath is the tight end Greg Olsen, and Olsen, as penalty markers fly, and there's a pileup at the 41-yard line.
Down in 6. Reeves moving to his right. He throws. And the tackle is made by Dante Whitner, shy of a first down.
Hands. Pulls it down a couple of times and now throws it right over the middle. There's a penalty called as Jeff Swaim was hit by DeMario.
Terrific punt back to the 20-yard line. Erickson takes a big hit from Derek Watt, and Watt looks like he is down.
Who sent it down for Oakland? Play fake. Palmer to the end zone. Broke it up. Hayward Bay.
And there's an injured Seahawk.